May I have your attention, please?
Welcome to Real Gaijin, unveiling the real Japan, an American expat's inside look. Now it's time for another story from the Read My Lips series of podcasts. Summarized podcast.
Hey, we are live and people are already joining. Wonderful. My name is Mark Kennedy. I am the host of the Real Gaijin Substack and also the associated Ask Me Anything AMA podcast. And today we have a special guest, Daichi Kunii. Daichi, you want to say hello?
Hi, I'm Daichi. Nice to meet you.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. So today we have an interesting topic. First of all, as you guessed, Daichi is Japanese, and most of our guests on the AMA podcast for Real Gaijin are, of course, foreigners living and working with Japan. However, every once in a while, we invite Japanese nationals to come on, and the reason for that is because we invite people that are very interested and have a lot of experience helping foreigners get established in Japan. And Daichi is a prime example of this. His firm, ReDelta, which we're going to go into great detail in just a minute, helps foreign buyers essentially find Japanese enterprises to purchase, so Japanese businesses to purchase and take over. And it's just amazing. I'm sure Daichi is going to tell us more about this, but there are literally hundreds of thousands of Japanese companies that have no successor and will literally stop operations unless a successor can be found. So that's extraordinary. There's nowhere else on earth like this, but Daichi is here to help us understand that. Just a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, we will be recording this session, and I will get the recording out within 24, maybe 36 hours this time. Give me a little bit of time. And then also, this is a live video, live chat. So use that chat functionality at the bottom there of your screen to put in questions, comments, and we will address that as we go. Okay, Daichi, thank you for waiting. Please tell us a little bit about yourself. We understand that you've had a lot of experience overseas and you work for Deloitte Tomatsu. Tell us about yourself.
Sure. Thank you for inviting me, having me. So I'm Daichi Kunii, the founder of ReDelta. So ReDelta is the Japanese M&A firms. And so my background is so I was born in Netherlands and I lived in almost 8 years in the Netherlands. And after that, I moved back to Japan. And after that, all of my rest of my life is in Ibaraki Prefecture and Tokyo. Ibaraki is a little bit north part of the Kanto area, a little bit the rural area, but yeah. So so I am the accountant in Japan because so the reason why I choose the accountant is because of my father and my grandfather is also accountant, and he owned the accounting firms in Ibaraki. So that is maybe the reason why I chose that my career. So so after graduate, I started work in Deloitte as the accountant in the audit department, and after that, I choose the working in startups as the CFO. Then 2019, I established ReDelta.
Oh, okay. A while ago.
Yeah. So ReDelta doing some business. One is the helping the Japanese company to go to the Southeast Asia by doing the merger and acquisition. And recently, the half of a year ago, I started a business that it's kind of platforms Japan M&A Finder. It's so that is the product that then Mark introduced. So I help the foreigners to invest or take over the Japanese business. So because as you know, there are a lot of Japanese Japanese business owner is in problem, but the successor problem, they couldn't find the successor. So yeah, that is the my business and background. Thanks.
Terrific. Can you give us a sense for how many of these businesses there are and what industries are the most common where there are no successors in Japan?
So it's very difficult, because so the famous one is the F&Bs, like a restaurant business or
Yeah.
like izakaya, but it's really small, so small business.
Mm,
And the second one is the factories.
mm,
So
mm,
like young generation doesn't wanna work as the manufacture industry. It's really like hard. And like we say oyakata, it's the like
mm.
professional like the like the techniques they have. They are really how to say, it's their old fashion styles, and that's their culture and their ideas of the value is totally different from the younger generation. Um, so young generation doesn't want to work there, so that it's really hard to find the successor and the yeah. So the manufacturer, F&Bs, like restaurant or like izakaya or restaurant things, and also like the hotels, like
Mm,
we say, ryokan. It's Japanese
yes.
style ryokan.
Yes.
There are so many ryokan in rural area, like
Yeah.
Shizuoka or Nagano. Shizuoka is famous for easy to sightseeing and visit, but like a really big enterprise acquired so many ryokan in Izu, small one. And also the Nagano is famous for the skiing. Like,
Right.
but there are so many small ryokan and onsen hot spring place. Uh, that is really hard to find the successor.
Yeah. Now that one, since I live in Kyushu and literally 10 minutes away from a hot spring that I went to last night, it was purchased a few years ago by an IT company from Singapore that also
Mhm.
purchased two other hotels, one in Hokkaido and one in Nagasaki. So I hear you loud and clearly. Very interesting. So food and beverage businesses, which are a little bit smaller scale, but then traditional manufacturing and then also hotel industry is
Yeah.
prominent. Okay, and then how about the number of these? I mean, I read the other day in the New York Times, it's something like 600,000 or 700,000 of these businesses that have no successor. Is that about
So
accurate?
you mean in the market or
Yeah.
in the market? To be honest, I don't know the exact
Okay.
numbers, but yeah, maybe six. You said 600,000. Yeah, I think so. But it's not only the enterprise. Maybe that is also
Hmm.
include the self-employee. Like most of
Maybe.
most of the restaurant is uh owned by the like individuals. It's not the LTDs. So
Sure. Yes, I understand. Okay, but I know the market is so broad and fragmented. This is probably difficult to answer, but as it relates to, for example, manufacturing businesses that
Mhm.
don't have a successor, can you give us a size or a sense of the size of the normal business like that? So, for example, annual revenue, maybe number of employees.
I see. So most of the manufacturer business, like the size is say uh less than the 7 million US dollar revenue size. Most of the manufacturing like factories in, for example, in Tokyo or in like Ibaraki,
Yeah.
less than the revenue is less than 7 million US dollar. Yeah.
Okay.
And the EBITDA, like revenue, the
Mhm.
profit is usually
Yeah.
like less than 1 million, and some are
Ooh,
in the red. Maybe the most half of that's kind of like company is like in the red.
ooh. Oh, really? Okay. So that's a pretty small firm. So what, like 10 employees maybe, or 10 to 15?
Yeah, s- 10 or less than 10. Some are like
Okay.
12, yeah, like that. So that is the really like a basic, like general um cases.
Okay. How about on the hotel side? I mean, I'm sure it varies quite a bit, but when you talk about a traditional ryokan,
Mm.
maybe a family-owned business,
Yeah,
that must be
so
pretty smart.
I did the three deals, ryokan deals, and
Hmm.
one is the revenue is 3億円だから、2 million US dollar. Revenue is 2 million US dollar, and
Okay.
the profit is 2000万だから、
Oh,
2000万 JPY two
so $70,000 or so?
step no almost it's 10 no 12 thousand US dollar
Oh, so
profit.
not too much. Okay.
Not too much.
So
So
just
it's
barely
so
scraping by then.
so so it's most of the companies in trouble about successor is not high profit margins. So
Mm,
they have the profit. Of course, the owner get a lot of elimination, so that's why like one of the reason that like profit is really small. So we will
ah,
usually use the adjust EBITDA, um but profit margins usually like 15% or less
okay.
than the 10%. So um yeah, that is also the one of the reason why like they can't find a successor. Um
Yeah.
yeah, like employee doesn't wanna like take over the business because they already know that it's really hard to run the business to keep going. So
Well, that is great. And given your background as a CPA, that's good that you brought up the numbers. Let's dive a little bit more deeper into that because I bet our listeners would be very interested. Or let's take a typical example that you gave, like of a ryokan, a traditional Japanese inn with annual revenue of about, so you mentioned like 2 million US dollars, 3億円 or so. Uh, with that kind of profit margin, what kind of valuation would be normal?
yeah, so for example, that as I said, the revenue is 2 million US dollar and the profit is uh uh 12,000 US dollar. It would say that deal was at those million US dollar. That is the
Oh,
variation. So usually like we use the EBITDA multiples. So
hmm,
in the successor problem deals, usually EBITDA multiple is 3 times to 6 times. So it's really cheap, like
yeah,
reasonable too. But
I was gonna say,
because you can like um get the returns in the 3 years or like six
ah,
years. So and if like you can control the companies and run the business well better than the before, maybe you can correct the investment maybe in like 3 years or 4 years. So it's really
yeah,
reasonable to invest. So I think
I,
like
yeah,
yeah. So I think like I so this is my like my wish, but more like young generation. I mean, the Japanese people should like take over the business, but
mm,
most of Japanese are like they prefer to work as the employee, so they don't want to take a risk. They are really conservative. So
right. Well, that's where perhaps foreigners that are a little bit more open to taking a risk can play a role.
yeah, yeah,
Now, I know we're making the numbers sound pretty good. And I mean, you're telling us the reality, but there is also the reality of the challenges of running such a business. So let's keep going with the example of a ryokan or traditional Japanese inn.
mm,
Let's say it's in Nagano, so near the ski country of Hakuba, for example.
yeah,
Uh, Now, I imagine some of these businesses are like haven't been maintained, and there would be a requirement to
mm,
upgrade the facilities.
yeah,
Plus, what would be another common problem would be just having enough people to work on site, right?
Right. Yeah,
And
it's
so how
mm.
have you found, like, on the deals that you helped put together, are you staying in touch with the new purchasers to find out how they're doing?
Mm. So it's your question is like you're about the ryokan business in the Hakuba or like in the skiing area?
Well, for example, let's go back to the examples that the deals that you actually helped make
Mm.
with the hotel business. So I don't know where they are. You don't have to give me all the details, but are you staying in touch with the new owners to find out, are they becoming
Uh,
successful running the new business?
so th that's business. Usually like a new owner will like of course like handle the business, and the previous owner usually like retire in 1 year. Like we say the
Ah,
post-merger integrations, like
yeah.
PMIs. So they remain for a year or 2 years
Mhm.
to like help to running the business for the new owners. But usually, like they will retire because like they are old and they don't want to work anymore, and also they get amount of cash after the M&As. So usually, like they will resign, and that is the maybe the best cases because like the founders or previous owner has the influence inside the companies, so that if they don't resign it, like it's really hard to for new business owner to control the companies and running the
Ah,
business. So because like for employees, there are two bosses, and so if like the each one like each boss like has a different like
ah,
opinions, and oh, which should I
ah.
yeah. So a little bit like the control, like directions control is a little bit complicated. So
Well,
yeah.
thank you for getting into that. Let's come back to that. So that's thank you. On post-merger integration, fancy term for basically the transition afterwards. That's great that some of the previous owner would volunteer to stay on or have a financial incentive to stay on. Um, I want to get back into that a little later on the cultural challenges of
Mhm.
managing a new business
Cultural
as you
challenges.
formed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Mm.
before we do that, we have a question already. So here it is. And by the way, I can mention your name or not, depending upon you, but your requirement, I will assume you don't want to be mentioned, so we'll be asking for a friend here. All right, here it is. Are there any companies that I can buy and make it joint owned with the employees? Ah,
Yeah, of course. There are so many. So I don't want like uh uh exaggerate my business, but we have the Japan M&A finders. Is that kind of like you can look for the business that
mm,
so the Japanese business which the owner is in the successor problem, and some has the of course employees, so that yeah, you can find and you can check it my website later. Yeah, of course,
yeah,
like
no,
most of the
that's
case,
fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I know. I mean, this is such a broad subject, and we really have to kind of narrow this down to first of all, which industry are we talking about? But
yeah.
I like the hotel one because that's a common, easy one to understand. Um, so there are opportunities, it sounds like, if you look through your website, to find, let's say, a hotel that's for sale, but you want to manage, or I don't know what the technical term would be, but to purchase the hotel together with existing employees to make it like an employee ownership arrangement. That's possible.
Yeah, of course, why not?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good. That sounds easier said than done, but all right, very good. So I guess the takeaway for the person that asked the question, hopefully, if you have a follow-up question, just go ahead and put it in the chat. But the takeaway is probably to get in touch with Daichi and give them your requirements in terms of which industry are we talking about, revenue, size, and so forth. Very good. All right. And then let's say what else? So your website finds potential acquisition targets throughout Japan, not in just one geography, right? Anywhere in the country.
Right, right.
Okay.
But yeah, but of course, we have a lot of the Tokyo deals and but yeah, so like we don't have like any as we don't say like we have all of the prefectures, so you can
Okay.
choose.
All
But
right. Good.
yeah,
Good. Hey, but let's take a step back and let me ask a broader question, particularly from the perspective of a foreign investor or a foreign buyer. Why would I want to purchase an existing Japanese business as opposed to starting from zero, starting my own business in Japan? What would be the advantage of buying an existing business?
so your question means that what's it from what why the acquisition is better than the start the business from scratch.
Correct.
Um, I would say so. Maybe for this is for foreigners because like I am also the entrepreneur. So for me, like starting the business in Japan and like how to say, if like I started a business in the States, I don't know about the culture of the States and I don't have a networks. So it's really hard for me to start a business from scratch in States. So if I have a money, I should acquire the States. That is same as for foreigner in Japan. Because if like Mark, like you know well about Japan and you know the culture and you have a lot of friends in Japan. So for you, like starting the business from scratch is good idea. But if you doesn't have any friends or strong network in Japan, maybe you should buy the yeah business. Acquiring is better way than start from zero. Because you if you buy the companies, you already have the like distributions. You
Yeah.
already have the like employees. You don't have to
Mhm.
do the advertisement to hire someone. So you can buy the time and you can
Hmm.
buy the like stable revenues. So that is much faster and stable to doing the business.
That's a fascinating point that you say, buying the time. You're right, because I'm thinking back to this hot spring, this onsen ryokan near my home that I went to last night. It was actually purchased 2 years ago by a company from Singapore,
Mm.
but this is a IT company. So what are they doing in the hotel business in Japan? That's still a good question, but they bought the time. So they haven't really changed anything. I like to talk to the uh, new manager that they've hired from time to time just to find out how they're doing. And they're taking their time to studying what should be done to upgrade the facilities, studying their customer base. And all this time, they're still maintaining the existing revenue and also profit margin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very good point about buying time. So you don't have to rush to do everything.
Right.
Okay, very
And
good.
so if like a hot spring beers, that is really a little bit really specific. I mean like because that is the asset, it's really hard to like start or buy or find a new hot springs. That deal,
Yes,
for example,
good point.
hot spring deals or maybe the skiing like deals. That is really like exceptional.
Yeah. No, well, that's a good point, though. I mean, it's not as though you can just dig anywhere and find a hot spring. So you're right. There are all sorts of rules and regulations around that, too. So there are many advantages of buying an existing business. Um, I wonder, so where are your clients coming from? Are they mostly coming from Southeast Asia or America or North America or Europe or all
So
three of the above?
so in my platforms, most are the States and Europe. So
Hmm.
um, I post like the informations about the Japanese business in the LinkedIn and also the
Okay.
Substacks. But most of the the like people register in Japan on the platform is come from LinkedIn. And my forward is maybe the States and Europe, so that yeah, our clients is maybe 40% is from States and 30% is from Europe, and
Oh, wow.
rest of 30% is like Southeast Asia. But the 30% is Southeast Asia, but 60% of the 30% is like from Singapore. So
Uh, So are they? That's very interesting. The breakdown. Are you clients that are interested in purchasing Japanese firms? Are they financial investors or are they hands-on, ready to take over the business themselves? Come to
um,
Japan.
it's really interesting because like the people from Singapore, they are like kind of like they are really rich, so they just want to buy the asset. Like for example,
Ah,
they buy the ryokan or like the business that has the like asset. I mean the land or like buildings like that.
yes. Yes.
So it's kind of like they for them like it's really how to say just like buying the real estate. But
Huh.
people from the States or Europe, they want to move to the Japan, and
Ah,
they want to live, yeah, after like retirement. They want to live in the rural area, like in
yeah,
Japan, like close to the
like
like
me.
ocean. Yeah, like you. Yeah. So in that
Well,
case,
mm,
they hands on the business.
it's interesting you mentioned that because when I moved from central Tokyo to Kyushu almost 7 years ago, and I remember the prefectural government reached out to us, said, "Would you be interested in purchasing a business here?" Since I'm still a relatively young guy, and at the time I wasn't interested, but it's very interesting. They had like the equivalent of an Akia bank, but for businesses in
I have.
in Oita Prefecture, where I'm sure you tap into that. Hey, we have another question, and it's related to this topic. Do the hands-on buyers, so primarily from North America and Europe, Ah, do they apply for a business visa to stay in Japan? Yeah, maybe you could talk a little bit about the visa situation.
So to be honest, like I'm not good at the visa because like I give that kind of things to the gyosei the legal
Yeah,
office. So
sure.
I'm not good at the visa things. But
No.
how about you? You have the business visa?
No, no, no. So, well, yeah, in my case, well, I'm a permanent resident, so not an issue
Permanent.
anymore. But and before that, well, many different kinds of visas, including a spousal visa, since my wife is Japanese. But before that, before I was married, way back when, a long time ago, probably before you were born, I was on the equivalent of a business visa. Well, not a business ownership visa, but as an employee, a specialist type of visa.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess to the question that came in, the answer is probably get in touch with either a lawyer or a specialist in visas to find out the answer to that. Of course, as you know, the requirements for paid-in capital and all that, at least for forming a business in Japan, have recently gone up dramatically from like
Yeah.
5 million yen to 30 million yen. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that applies to purchasing an existing business with employees already on your payroll. Do you have any information about that?
Sorry, I missed your question. Sorry.
So for to get a business visa, I know this is not your area of expertise, but to get a business visa, you have to, and let's say this is a startup business in Japan. I
Yeah.
believe the paid-in capital requirement now is 30 million yen.
Capital requirements? Maybe I don't think so because like
Oh,
in so in legally like the capital like we don't have the capital requirement to establish the company. So it's maybe the same as for foreigner. So we don't have the capital requirements, but I think this is not like certain information, but you need to. So yeah, I think everyone who has the company can request submit the business bid, I think, because a lot of
Yeah.
like Indian restaurant or like some like
Mhm.
small business, they
Right.
they have the business visa. But one thing that is that last 2 months ago, 3 months ago, like business visas requirement is changed, and
Correct.
some foreigners like protest about that like change. So maybe the regulation will be a little bit like restricted than before.
Yes,
So yeah, watch
correct. I
out
think
the
you're right. So I tell you what, Daichi is not an expert on this. He's more of an expert on acquiring businesses. But yeah, you're right. So the requirements in terms of, I believe, paid-in capital are also the number of employees that you have to have on your payroll has increased to the point where for small-time proprietors like restaurant operators that had been previously here on that visa, they will have difficulty continuing. However, maybe to answer your question to the person that asked the question, potentially buying an existing business might be a fast track toward getting the appropriate visa. So that would be something to check with a lawyer on. But anyway, thank you for the question. Okay. So let's say, let's go into another thing about due diligence. So this is definitely something that I know you're probably an expert on. When you have a foreign client, and let's go back to the example of buying a ryokan, and your foreign client wants to assess, okay, what is the real value here? You mentioned something like a multiple of 6 times, but how do you conduct due diligence in Japan for a client like that?
so due diligence. So I would say so most of the deals is really like small business, like as I like showed it, like the revenue size is less than 2 million, was like maximum size
Yeah,
is 10
that's one.
million. So we don't have the like really strict due diligence because like the financial statement is
Mhm.
really simple. Like they have the asset, for example, ryokan, they have the asset, but the building is already the depreciation is already done, and the
Ah,
book value is like 1 yen, like that.
ah,
Yeah,
okay.
quite
And it's so
simple.
old. Ah,
So
okay.
we will check the like liabilities, like how many like borrowings they have, or
Mm.
like most important thing is that the not financial due diligence. The most important is in that compliance or like legal things,
Ah,
like for example they already have their like permission from the like government, or they don't have any like lawsuits with the like employees, or like they don't force the laborers to like work like like more than the like labor role.
mm.
That is really important.
Oh, that's very interesting. And then, hey, back on the acquisition, like let's say that the value of an asset, and let's take a like the building of a hotel is literally valued at 1 yen. That's an interesting example. T- Going back to this hot spring near my house, yes, it's a extensive land, lots of land, and it's not being used very much.
Mhm.
And that was what the current manager, who was recently hired, explained is so valuable to the Singaporean buyer. Do you provide like comparable pricing estimates for getting a sense for the market value of the assets?
Mm, so land has the market value, so easy to assess the valuation, because like land doesn't have the depreciation, so quite simple. But like building, it doesn't have the market, and the
Mhm.
depreciation duration is maybe the 10 years or 15 years. So if that company already run more than 10 years or 15 years, all of the buildings value is like yeah, just 1 yen booking value. So they don't have a
Okay.
market. So yeah.
It's
So
tough to estimate, huh?
yeah, so tough to estimate. So um if like that's, for example, like if we say like the our target is like the Japan business, and they are really famous for like foreigners or like in Japan, will estimate the goodwill, like
Ah,
that's the
sure.
fame or like
Yeah.
so when we evaluate the companies, uh, we don't assess the buildings, or we
Mm,
just assess the how much they have the goodwill. Like it's
mm,
really non tangible asset.
right.
So that
Right.
and that is very difficult because
Mm,
um merchant acquisition is like the deals between the seller and the investors. So we don't have the like the market. Of course, we can check the investor relations in the public companies, but it's totally different from this
yeah,
deal size is smaller than it. So
sure.
yeah, so we don't have the to be honest, we don't have the market. We just like how you want to like buy this, then that price is like add on to the market price or like booking values, and that it could be the market price.
Yes, I understand it's definitely a very difficult case, and you have to make lots of assumptions, but your financial background, I can see, would come in extremely handy to any potential investor here. Hey, I want to get into another subject, which is getting on the more psychological side. I understand, for example, when a foreigner is interested in buying an existing home, let's say in Japan, oftentimes, in the West, sometimes if the home is older, we would quote unquote lowball an offer, so a very small price for an asking price.
Right.
But in Japan, I understand that can backfire because it can be viewed as, oh, what, you're not taking this seriously. So, really, to be realistic, in that kind of situation, a rule of thumb seems to be not offering a price anywhere lower than 10% of the asking price. Does that same type of psychology apply to making an offer to purchase a business?
That works. I mean, because the business owners are in the serious problem to find a
Mm,
successor. So
true.
if they don't have any options to run the business, then like even if that's the like the price is like lower than their expectations or less than the market, they don't have no option, so that they have to accept that offer to run the business because they have the employees. And if that
Mm,
business doesn't run anymore, or like if the owner like, like suddenly passed away, like the
uh,
employees are in like a trouble, and so they lost the the place to work. So yeah, that's that's also that's is like that works sometimes, but um, maybe half of the owners doesn't accept that's low suggestion or offer because I would say like the the owner who are in trouble in successor problem is like doesn't face to the like real situation, because if like they could expect this problem will happen in 10 years or like
yeah,
in 20 years when they were 50, they were 50s, but they escaped from the real, so that like they're in the trouble right now, like for example
mhm,
65 years. So
yeah,
in those type of people run away from like the risk that they are passed away like tomorrow or 1 week later. So
yeah,
they think that oh, like we have the option in the future, like we can find a buyer, a potential buyer in maybe 10 years, so that
mhm.
like they don't want those type of people doesn't want to accept the lower suggestion from the like foreign investor or foreign like buyer.
That's interesting. So they're in denial about their own longevity, essentially,
Yeah.
or ability to manage their business indefinitely. Very interesting. Hey, I'm glad you brought up the very important topic of employees. I imagine that one tactic that you acting on behalf of a foreign client would make is the ongoing employment of employees would be a real strong argument to make to a potential seller that, hey, this is a good person to sell to. Is that how you position the deal? It's not just dollars and cents or yen in this case, but the fact that the new owner is committed to continuing to employ the existing associates.
So usually like owner will like ask to the new owner to keep the employee like as the like yeah the long employment so that most of the deals they like new owner have to sign the like lockup. I mean the lockup like
Ah,
the employees like lockups.
ah,
If there is no commitment about the employment, most of the owner doesn't sign the contract.
okay. And how long is that period? Is that at least for a year or maybe 3 or 5 years?
Usually 2 years or three
Okay.
years. Mm.
Okay, good. That's good to know too. How about other challenges that a new foreign owner? Let's go into the hands-on type of owner that wants to move to Japan and
Mhm.
go back to the hotel example. Let's say it's a ryokan near a ski resort in Nagano.
Mhm.
Okay, so what are some of the challenges that a new owner would face in Japan
So
besides
first,
language? Let's say.
side language. Um, so it's really how to say um bad habits for Japanese people. Of course, it depends on the individuals, but generally speaking, um, Japanese people tend to have a stronger psychological barrier toward foreigners
Mm.
because, like the tendency is often even stronger in the rural areas. So
Yeah.
for in Tokyo's, there are so many foreigners and some speak Japanese, so we don't have any psychological barriers. But in rural areas like Niigata or, for example, Kyushu, um, less people speak English. They can speak English, so we have the language barrier for it. They have the like psychological barrier, like so they can communicate, and really less foreigners. So like they are minority. So
Mm.
and so that like if the new owner came from the foreign countries, yeah, psychological things is really maybe the biggest things. And also like acquisition is like in Tokyo, this is also the rural things, but in Tokyo, like we are really common to like acquire the business. So because there's financial uh institution is maybe the most of the financial institution is like gathered in Tokyo. So we
Mm.
often happen the M&As in like the companies, but in rural areas, it's much quite rare for them to acquire the business. And if the foreigner acquired the business, that is looks like they are like not take over. They are like how to say like like taken away from from foreigners look like that. So that that's psychological things is really like biggest. So that
Yeah.
it's very hard to get the like how to say like get the like psychological trust is really difficult from the employees.
Yeah. So that's interesting. You say that. Do you help the new buyer integrate with their new team? I mean, for example, I don't know how I do it, but I suppose I would gather everyone together and
Yeah,
spend as much time as possible to answer their questions.
of course. Like while like handling the deals, we will help to like make it smooth so that
Hmm.
like we will have the some conference for the employees. Like we will explain it, like the background, why this deal is like happened. and what is the purpose of the new investors or new owners, and also we are really this is the friendship acquiring, not like take away the bit take over by yeah, it's not financial acquiring. It's kind of helping because of the successor program. And
Right.
for example, new owner is really love the seeing, so that they want
Hmm.
to, yeah, like that. So that's storytelling is the most important. It's really not financial things, emotional things, but business is running by the people, the human beings. So we help those kind of help.
That's great. That's good to know. And getting back to the actual process,
Mhm.
I imagine if you have a foreign client that is interested in purchasing a business in Japan, do you prepare like a list of potential acquisition candidates? I don't know how many you'd have, maybe 10 or so, and then have them come to visit Japan and visit each one together?
So most of the case, so the investors or the, the individuals who are interested in the acquiring the business, register the Japan and they find this, and they looked up the the deals they are interested in, and if they put the button of the inquiry, we will get the infos and um give it some teasers or non-name teasers. So we don't list up the candidate. They inquire the business they are interested in, and then
Okay. Hmm.
we will set meetings, and we will help to visit the companies. So that is the process.
Okay.
And if the deal is in the the sell side, owner positive to sell to the foreigners, we will handle the deals. We will of course visit the company with the new investors, and help to handle the deals, and help to conclude the deals.
And I imagine each situation is different, but on average, how long does the whole purchasing process take?
So after sorry after setting the first meeting in person or online, usually 3 months or 4 months.
Oh, fast. Okay.
Yeah, fast, because size is not big. So
True. Mm.
yeah, so the same as the due diligence is not tough, and the most important thing is that the employment employment and the valuation things. So there are not a lot of the procedures. Yeah.
How about financing for the deals? Let's say the purchase price is somewhere around $1 million. Are most of these deals done by foreigners investing in Japan done in cash, or are they financed either locally here in Japan or from abroad?
So most are by cash. Maybe the rich people by cash, but
Yeah,
of course, some are borrowing the money from the banks. So
yeah,
it's from the Japanese bank, or in
mm,
the like Singaporean, for the money
mm,
from the Singapore. Yeah,
I
it
see.
depends.
So
It,
would
it
it,
depends on.
mm,
Yeah, I
in
don't
the
know
case of
where.
the Japanese bank, but do you help facilitate that
Yeah.
interaction?
I will help. Of course, I help the introduce the. We have some network with the rural bank and mega bank in Japan, so we can introduce the person or the manager of the bank. But they have to do the process by themselves.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, interesting. But some of them, like from Singapore, might have the financing provided from Singapore.
Yeah, because N is much cheaper than the.
Huh,
So yeah.
true. Very interesting. Okay, and then what? Let's see. on a go forward basis, okay, maybe one other key question. Of course, maybe this depends on the deal, but how do you charge for your services? Are you charging the seller or the buyer or both?
Oh, so we charge the seller and the buyer. So just checking the deals, like Japan M&A Finder, like 3 deals in the month, like you can check in the free, but you want more than 3, you have to get the subscriptions. Monthly,
Oh, 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 oh.
monthly $150. So it's not expensive, but you can
Okay.
check all of the deals and you
Oh,
can get all of the deals of the non-name sheet. So I think
ah,
like if you wanna look up so many deals, you you can subscribe it. And if you are going to the deals is like in the procedure to uh like negotiation and like deal closing, we will charge the 3% of the valuation
okay.
or $7,000. Like which one is the
Ah,
higher is the charge. So it's really
that's
clear.
that's pretty reasonable, though.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think
Okay,
so.
so
Yeah.
it's almost like a real estate transaction. Very interesting. And then, how about services after the acquisition? So, like during the post-merger integration, do you also? I know that's a fancy term, but essentially just to make the transition to the from the old owner to the new owner. d- Do you charge for that service too separately?
Yes, separately. So if like the clients want us to handle the PMI consultings, we will charge separately the deal
Okay.
closing, and that is
Okay.
the monthly basis, and that is
Ah,
changed by the size because like they have the 100 employees, like a charge the fee is a little bit like more expensive than the the deals that the employee is just 3 or 4. So
okay. All
so
right.
please ask me like you are in
Yeah.
trouble about the PMIs.
Right. So this is more case by case. I got
Yeah.
it. Thank you. Quick shout out to all of our listeners. We have quite a few people listening in right now. We've had a couple of questions, so thank you for that. But please, in the remaining time we have, put any questions, comments in the chat, and we will address those. I have another question overall. What are the success factors, or what are the attributes that you would want to see from a buyer from overseas that you would just know, oh, okay, this person's going to be successful? And what should you show besides just enthusiasm? But what are some of the things that a foreign buyer can do to make it more
Mm.
likely that they'll be successful?
Mm, it's very difficult questions, but um, so usually I would say the the first touch point is the most important. If you
Mm,
got the bad impression from the owner in the beginning, then um, that doesn't work. So the first meetings and the first touch point is the most important. So um, the most of the deals that goes success is that their foreigner or investor really prepare a lot, but like so look many investigation about that companies, and they know they maybe they Google the owners' infos, and
mm,
so we of course we give that those kind of information, but um the the foreigners or investors who are really like check all of it, that works well because like the owner thinks that oh he know a lot and he
mm,
um are really serious about these deals and that he has the respect about the business. That they feel like that. But like some deals like that, they're like investor doesn't like check or looked up the informations well.
mm,
But after the meetings, oh, this deal looks really good. And then like they turn to be serious. It doesn't work because the first time is really important. Preparation is the most important. So that like that is the like kind of the success factors of the
Yeah,
deals.
that makes sense. And how much of that first meeting is simply going to an office or the actual facility and sitting down for a business meeting? Does it oftentimes change also into like a dinner afterwards or more of a social type of interaction as well? Do you recommend that, or is it more purely just business?
To be honest, most first meeting is usually like on the like Google Meets or like web meetings. First meeting is and and then like we will visit to the like the office or like place and then meet in person. So
Oh, okay.
first meeting is usually like for example living in the States, it's really hard to visit. So if of course like if you can come every time, that is better. But
Yes,
yeah, it's maybe a little bit hard for them. So that first
I
meeting is
see.
usually do like this on the online.
Okay, I got it. Huh. And how many meetings does it take to reach a deal? I mean, of course, it depends, but in
Um,
general,
how many? How many? Including the first touch point.
yeah. Well, you mentioned
The
something like 3 months would be a good rule of thumb for the time period. I mean, how many times would you
mm,
interact during that 3 times?
so usually the
Or-
first meetings, first touch point, and show the LOIs and the LOIs negotiation. And oh, sorry, first visit, first meeting, first visit, and LOIs and DDs. Usually like 2 times DDs and the negotiation, the contract is like 1, 2. Usually like less than 10, like
Oh,
eight,
well, all right, that's
eight,
not bad.
eight
Eight
or nine.
interactions,
Mm,
8 or 9 during 3 months. Those
yeah,
those are very good rules of thumb. Also, your estimate on the valuation multiple, that's also a good rule of thumb. So thank you very much. This is an extremely practical session. I appreciate it. I can tell that your background as an accountant, as a CPA, comes in handy here. So,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
maybe.
very good. All right. Well, hey, I can't believe it. We've already been talking for an hour. This has gone very quickly. To everyone that's on the line here, thank you for joining and for submitting questions. What we will do here is, since we're at the end of our time, I'll let Daichi say the final word. But what I'll do is I'll write up some key takeaways from today, along with the video recording, so you can go back at your leisure, along with links to get in touch with Daichi Kunii and his firm, ReDelta, so that if you are interested, you could go check their database. It sounds like a very reasonable situation, so you can either try it for free and get 3 checks, or if you want to pay $150 to check the entire database, that sounds like the way to go to me. Then you can really dive into what's out there and then whittle that list down to a more reasonable list of targets with Taichi, and then pursue the opportunity. Sounds like a great opportunity and great way to do business. Taichi, do you have any final thoughts for anybody that's out there thinking about this?
Uh, yeah. Anyway, thank you for having me, and it's really interesting and good time discuss with you. So I and so we talked like that. A lot of Japanese business has the problem in successor, and there are so many opportunities. So I believe our um it's really good opportunity market, and maybe I think it's good to how to say like I hope like a lot of Japanese business will saved by the of course like
Yes.
Japanese successor and also like the foreign peoples, so
Hmm.
that if you are interested in like please feel free to join the Japan Monday Finder or like reach me by LinkedIn or Substacks or whatever, I can help you to understand the Japanese market and also like looking for the Japanese opportunities. Thank you.
Wonderful. Great. So we'll put the links in the final write-up here. So everyone, thank you very much for joining. And Daichi, it's been a pleasure. It's great to find a young entrepreneur like yourself that's so involved with this opportunity. It's very encouraging. So I think this is a good opportunity for many foreigners to get involved with Japan. So thanks
Yeah.
for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Okay. Have a good day. Goodbye.
お疲れ様でした。
Thanks for watching and or listening to another story from the Read My Lips series of podcasts on Real Gaijin. Tell us what you think and be sure to tune in again next time.